Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to make falling rocks or rain of rocks, or how you want to think about it. Could be raining meteors as well. So as you see here, I have two Unity projects open and I just wanted to share one thing. So you see here they are smooth and they kind of not jitter around, but on this one they are. And if you're using Unity 2023, you might have this issue. But if you're using Unity 6 beta or a really late beta of the 2023.3 or something, then you probably have this much more smoother thing. So in order to solve this, you need to work on the new Unity. So you can't really, this is something we can't really solve. But I'm going to do the tutorial in 2023 because I found Unity 6 not that perfect. It's a little bit buggy yet, and it's a very early beta version, of course, so that's understandable. So I just wanted to say that to solve this jitter, hold up for Unity 6. So I'm going to show you from scratch how to do this, and it's going to be two parts, and so I'm not going to make them too long tutorials. So I will start in a fresh scene. The first thing, I'm going to just make a rock in Houdini, but you don't need to do that. You can just make a sphere. So if you just want to use the built-in sphere, you can use this one instead, but I'm going to make a quick simple rock, and it's nothing fancy, but I will. And I'm going to save it in the same folder as my Unity file is. So now I have it here. I like to do so we're going to make a geometry node, and I'm going to make a sphere with not polygon mesh, but with polygon, because I like triangles like this. So, and some more res, and I'm just gonna do a mount, really easy one, a mountain like this. And I'm gonna do a polyreduce, and just lower it down. And I think I'm gonna just play around a little bit. Yeah, this is good rock for me. I'm gonna do labs auto UV to have it unwrapped. Then I'm gonna do a transform and need to compensate for the different scale in the Unity and Houdini. And I'm gonna do a ROP FBX to export the rock. So this is gonna be rock 1. And I'm actually just gonna make another one, because we're gonna have smaller rocks. When we break the big rock, I want smaller rocks to kind of not have the exactly same shape. So I guess, yeah, this is good enough. Maybe that's fine. And this is gonna be rock 2. And as I said, you could do this in whatever program you want. So now we have 2 rocks here. This is super nice. And now we're just going to make a quick shader for it. So shader graph, lit shader graph. And it's going to be a rock. Actually, I'm going to use the same name. So it's going to be this name. So if we do add the material to the rock. So we're just going to have a noise. And we're going to have a color like this. And this one going to be a multiply with a noise. So we're going to have it look like this. We're gonna have it grayish, and the noise gonna be 200 or maybe 75. Let's try that one. Yeah, that's good enough. And then you see these sharp normal edges. I'm gonna take care of that too. So I'm gonna just make a normal and plug it in here. So what I do is that I'm just gonna crank up the cusp angle you see here and just place it here too. And save them, and then we have it smoother. Super nice. All right, this is good enough for the rock. And then the important thing is, in here in the graph settings, we're going to do support VFX graph, because we're going to use this in the VFX graph. And save, of course, save now. So now we got the stone set up like this. We can delete it. And we just create a visual effects graph. And we're going to do the minimal system like this. And it didn't. We need to do it one more time, apparently. Minimal system, create. All right, here we have it. And this one we put in the scene. So we do need to have a constant spawn rate. Now I'm gonna let it be 10 for now. And we're gonna, here we're gonna do the bounce we can leave, but here we're actually gonna have the box set position shape AA box. And we're gonna have a float. That's gonna be the area size. And we're going to plug it into X and Z. And no, I'm doing it wrong here. Sorry about that. We're not going to have it here. This is something else. We're going to have it set position here. Sorry. So the size is going to be like this. And we can do the mesh right away. So we see something. Mesh. So we're going to do output particle URP lit mesh. So now, because we made a shader here and we made it available for the VFX graph, this one we can just plug it in here. And we have rock. We take the mesh from the rock and put it here. So here you see, here we have the rocks. And we're going to do the area size to 10 by 10. So now you see they are here, spawning exactly as we want. So we're going to control the size. So we're going to do size random. No, we just do size. Set size. We're going to keep him at 0.5. This is good. And we want it to be spawned 20 units up in the air. And okay, so we're spawning 10 pieces per second. I think it is seconds. And then we have the maximum 64. So we can't create more than 64. So we're going to do that to 1 million. So that's our kind of maximum rock. What we can have. So now we see they are spawning, super nice. And we need to add a gravity to make sure they fall down. And they actually at the moment, they just fall down. Even through the plane, right? So we're gonna add a collision with plane. So now you see they stop here. And we want them to, we can leave it for that, like that for now. So when this come up to the amount of 1 million, they will, because we have no life on it. They will never die out. So we need to add some life to it. So we're going to do set life. And the reason we need to set life, so let's do 5 here, or maybe 10, I don't know. 5 seems to be okay, because what we're gonna do, whenever it collide with the plane, their lifetime loss will be 100%. So they actually die when they hit here. So we can, we're gonna use this to our advantage. But first I just want to do here, I'm going to do set random angle. Because I want rocks to have different angles when they fall down. So they are a little bit more random. We could change the size, of course, but I'm going to leave that for now. So what's really nice now is if when we know here they die, so then we just do this trigger event on die. So whenever they die, something is going to happen here. So we're going to make sure we have a GPU event. And when this event gonna have an initialize particle, and it's going to inherit the position. And also what's going to have here have happen, we're also going to do this velocity. So we're going to have set velocity random uniform. Actually, if we click on this one, we don't random to be uniform. We want to change that to per component. And this is really important because then each piece gonna get random velocity. And we're gonna do x gonna be from -1 to 1. And the z direction, like forward and backward, gonna be from -1 to 1. And the velocity is always going to point upwards 1 and 1. So it's always going to go between up 1 and up 1. So now, yeah, they will always go forward, backward, left, right, and always up. And why I do this one, I'm going to actually do set velocity like this. Because now we're going to get velocity. Because we created it here, now we can fetch it here and multiply some value to it and plug it back in. Instead of building a really complicated network, we can just kind of do this stuff, right? So, and I'm going to leave a little bit, not explaining this part yet, because I'm going to have, we can just do 10 here. And then we're going to have an update so we can see what we are doing. We're going to update particle. We're just going to add a gravity. And we're going to have this one, output particle mesh. We can just copy this one here. We're going to have the same one. And we can change the rock to rock number 2 instead to have some kind of different. And now you see there is stuff happening here. So what we could do first, I'm actually gonna crank up the, now I'm gonna wait for that. But first I'm gonna do set size. Actually I'm gonna do set size random. So I'm going to have it between 0.1 to 0.4. So now you see it's not bouncing. It's actually dying and creating a new rock bouncing up. So what we could do here, instead of only creating one, we could do 10 of them. So each time they fall down, they're going to create 10 one. And now the reason it doesn't work is because we have the capacity of a maximum 128. And because we don't have any life on it, we have infinite life particles that's already created. So it won't make any new ones. So we're going to do set life time. And actually I'm going to delete it and do the set random lifetime random. So we're going to do from 1 to 3 seconds like this. Now you see they bouncing like this. So they're actually not bouncing, they're just having velocity. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to crank up the gravity by 2. Now you see they are bouncing quicker down. And also, I'm going to give them different velocities. So for instance, the bigger chunks, they're not going to... I find it hard to see maybe, but the bigger rocks are not going to go so far. So I guess we could do like this if we just make error size to 1. So when a rock fall down, even though it's a small or big chunk, they go the same velocity strength. So now we're going to make sure that that the rocks is falling in different speed, and you can do this really nicely. So let's say first off we do a float here somewhere. So not a gradient. No, it's a float. Okay, good. So if we do a rock size min, and we're going to do this to 0.1, and we duplicate this one, and we make rock size max. So if we take this one to here, and we do the set size, and this needs to be before velocity. So we have them here, we're going to plug it in, and the reason we want it before velocity is because we're going to, depending on the size, we're going to give them different different velocity speed. So if we just copy these ones again, and we do remap. So if we get size here, get attribute size. So we take the get attribute size input, and we're gonna, the size gonna be the old range min and old range max, gonna be the rock size here. And now we want to do like this. So if you see here, the velocity is created here, and then we multiply the velocity by 10 here, and we set it again. But now, if the rock size is closer to 0.1, we want to give it a lot of velocity because it's small. And if it's closer to 0.4, we want it to have less impact. And then we just multiply this. And now the rock's going to fall much more mimicking the real world. So now you see they kind of fall more, the small one, they fall much longer. And the big ones doesn't fall so long. So this is really good. And we're also just going to take this, let's see where we have it. Set angle. We're going to do it random for the small rocks here too. So in the initialize particle, we copy the set random angle here too. So now you see they fall down and are different sizes. And here we're actually going to do, we're going to make make the stones or rocks, we're gonna multiply size over life. So if we do this kind of curve, it's gonna, all the stones gonna fade away. This is super nice, and this is actually it. So of course we can tweak it and make it look so much better, but this is the kind of the base of it. So here, let's see. I think they fall a little bit too strong, so we can do it smaller. So the velocity here is, let's do 1 to 5 instead. And we can change the lifetime from 2 to 4. So here you have it. And actually, I can see something else that we need to here. We need to change the capacity here. Also, we need to crank this one up because it also needs its ability to do a lot of particles. So now it should look even better. You see, now it looks more like the rocks are breaking and falling apart. So, I really hope you like this one. Before I leave, I'm gonna just crank it up to a lot of particles and see how that turns out. So let's do 100. And do the size 250. So here we have it, we have a lot of them. So I really hope you like this, and thank you so much for watching.